Hello everyone, this is Malti Ankodia from GPC Ajmer. Students, today we are going to study the figure of speech used in If, the poem written by Rudyard Kipling. See the first stanza. First, I would like to tell you the rhyming scheme. The rhyme scheme is what and how to find out. You notice the last word of each and every line. See, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. Notice this, you, same rhyming word. Yeah, sound same. Words are similar, obviously. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. Now see, you and two. Though both words are different, meaning obviously are different, but they sound same, similar. Yes, they are rhyming words. They are called rhyming words. So, all these four words are of same rhyming. So, we give letter A to them first. Okay? Now, next, observe the next line. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting. Now this last word, notice this waiting is not rhyming with you and two. Yes, so we will give this line B alphabet. Is this clear? Now, or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Now lies is different, so letter C has been given to it. Or being hated, don't give way to hating. Now you tell me, hating is rhyming with which word? Observe all these words which I have encircled. Yes, it is not rhyming with lies. Hating is not rhyming with lies. Hating is rhyming with waiting. So B we gave to this. So this also will be B. Is this clear? Now observe last line of this stanza. And yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. Now wise is rhyming with lies. Lies. To lies we gave letter C. So here also it will be C. Are you getting my point? Now, this question may ask in your examination, like what is the rhyming scheme of first stanza? Yes. So how would you write? The rhyming scheme is A B B C. This is the rhyming scheme of first stanza. Is this clear? Let me give you one simplest example. You must have heard the nursery rhyme, twinkle twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are. You notice the last word, star, are. Both words are different but rhyming is same. Yes? Star, are, up above the was so high, like a diamond in the sky. High and sky. The similar sound. So, what is the rhyming scheme of this word? Star and are similar, so we'll give them A. And sky and high are similar, so we'll give them BB. So, what is this rhyming scheme of this nursery rhyme? AABB. Okay, rhyming scheme means tal, tukbandi. When you listen a poem, you find it very melodious. Yes? हिंदी में कविता हम सुनते हैं तो वो बहुत हमें कर्णप्रिय लगती है. उसमें एक ताल होती है, एक रिदम होती है, और जो उसके अंत में जो शब्द होते हैं वो लगभग सिमिलर होते हैं. तो उस तुकबंदी को हम राइमिंग स्कीम कहते हैं. यस. नाउ ऑब्जर्व द सेकेंड पैराग्राफ. Let's find out. Here, the last word master is different. It is not resembling with anyone in the first paragraph. Yes, master is totally different. It is not rhyming with you, with waiting, with lies. Yes, so we will give this word letter D. Now aim is not rhyming with anyone, so we'll give this letter E. Now observe this disaster. Is this resembling? The sound are similar. The disaster, master. Yes, so we will give this D. See? Clear? Now observe the same word same. The last word of this line same is rhyming with aim, and to aim we gave letter E. So though it is rhyming with aim, same is rhyming with aim, so we'll give this same letter E. Is this clear? Now spoken is totally different, so we will give this letter F. Fools, the last word is fools. This is also not resembling with anyone, so letter G has been given. Now broken is resembling with the spoken. तो हमने spoken को F दिया था, लेटर मार्क किया था, तो हम broken को भी F मार्क करेंगे. यस, तो अगर आपसे बोला जाए कि इसकी राइमिंग स्कीम बताइए सेकंड स्टैंजा की, तो क्या हो जाएगी इसकी स्कीम? डी ई एफ जी. Is this clear to you? I hope you guys are able to find out the rhyming scheme of any poem. Now see the third stanza. Observe now. What is the rhyming scheme of third stanza? H I A J. This is the method to write the rhyme scheme. ठीक है? H I A J. Clear? Now observe the fourth paragraph. Now you guys try to tell me what is the rhyming scheme. It is written here. That is A K L M. Yes? A K L M. Now observe the word if repeated in every other line is included in anaphora. Yeah, the repetition of a word or phrase with one or two intervening words. Not only if repeated, but also you can or is. If you can, this poetry starts with if you can, and every now and then Kipling has used this phrase, if you can. So this is called anaphora. Clear? Now see the assonance, the repetition of identical vowel sounds preceded and followed by differing consonant sound can also be noticed in the word allowance and doubting. Because of the sound ow in the middle of the word, words look. Now see the sound, this ow sound is there, allowance. Ow, doubt. Ow sound has been used in both the words. So, this is the example of assonance. Now, see next one. Words look, to, and good are also assonantial with a vowel sound oo preceding different consonant sounds. So, this is also example of assonance. The word being and hating. Being and hating. Here, being and hating are included in half rhythm or off rhythm due to their similarly final sounds ing. Ing has been used. So, when we write this phonetically, this is anga sound. In Hindi, we call it anga sound. Yes, due to the similarly final sound ing. And so are the words losing and blaming. Here also similar sound has been used. So we call it assonance. Remember, when vowel sound is repeated, this is assonance. And when the sound of letter is repeated, that is alliteration. Wait, I am going to give you an example of alliteration also. And risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose, then start again at your. The word on, off, and toss in the second line show that they are included in alliteration. As I told you, on, off, toss. Included in alliteration with initial sounds O. Meanwhile, the word nerve, serve is definitely a masculine rhythm. Rhyme, perfect rhyme, because of stressed final syllable O. Following different initial sounds. Here, nerves and herbs. इसमें अ साउंड यूज़ किया गया है. सो ये एक परफेक्ट रिदम का एग्जाम्पल है. सर्व, नर्व. In Hindi, you guys must have listened, must have heard this चाचा ने चांदनी चौक में चंदू के चाचा को. What is that? Yes, you know that? चंदू के चाचा ने चांदनी चौक में. So this repetition of cha is called an alliteration. Is this clear? The other example also you must have heard. Bitti bought a butter, but butter was a bitter. So Bitti bought another butter to make a bitter butter batter. The repeated sound of BT is an example of an alliteration. Is this clear to you guys? You can give me more examples to me. Yes? Now see the next one, imagery. It means to use a figurative language to represent objects, actions and ideas in such a way that it appeals to our physical sense. In the poem, if the imagery appears in line, if you can wait not to be tired by waiting. First stanza, it has been used. When we read this poem, we feel as if we were being tired of waiting. And that is perhaps what the writer of it wanted the readers to feel like that. The next imagery can be seen in the and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. Second stanza. Yes, it seems as if we are feeling, physically we are feeling that we are stooping and building something. Because Kipling wanted us to feel. So, here this constructor needing for much energy to build something. Yes. Now, next is personification. Next literary device is personification. Personification means it is a figure of a speech in which a thing, an idea, or an animal is given human attributes. The non-human objects are portrayed in such a way that we feel they have the ability to act like human. In this poem, dreams are personified. How come? If you can dream and not make dreams your master, as if dream is our master, and dreams are controlling us. So this is then example of personification. Here, dreams were like masters who can control our lives. In this case, dreams are assumed to have had a human role or quality, that is being a master. If you can meet and with triumph and disaster. Here also, triumph and disaster have been personified. Except the will which says to them, hold on. Yes, will. It seems as if will is a person, and actually it is saying hold on. Clear? So will is personified here. Next is metaphor. Metaphor is what? It is a figure of speech making an implicit, implied or hidden comparison between two things or objects that are poles apart from each other but have some common characteristics between them. If you can meet with triumph and disaster, this is an example of metaphor. What is metaphor? Metaphor means किसी पर्सन की कुछ खास क्वालिटी को जब हम किसी ऑब्जेक्ट से कंपेयर करते हैं तो हम उसे मेटाफर कहते हैं. जैसे मैं एग्जांपल दूं आपको कि वो सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल लौह पुरुष हैं. सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल लौह पुरुष नहीं है एक्चुअली, है ना. ही वॉज अ मैन, ही वॉज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग with body and flesh and blood. Yes, he was not actually an Iron Man, but his strongness is compared with an iron. Clear? So this is called metaphor. Let's take another example. अगर मैं कहती हूँ कि वो खूबसूरत है और वो चांद है, उसकी खूबसूरती को अगर मैं चांद से कंपेयर करूं और अगर मैं ये कहूं कि वो चांद है, तो दिस इज कॉल्ड मेटाफर. क्लियर? एक और फिगर ऑफ स्पीच है जिसको हम सिमिली कहते हैं. सिमिली में हम एज और लाइक जैसे वर्ड्स यूज़ करते हैं. जैसे अगर मैं कहूं कि वो चांद की तरह खूबसूरत है, तो शी इज़ एज ब्यूटीफुल एज मून. तो इसमें एज वर्ड यूज़ हुआ है, तो ये मेटाफर नहीं है, ये सिमिली है. यस. और अगर उस व्यक्ति को ही हमने उस ऑब्जेक्ट का नाम दे दिया तो फिर वो मेटाफर है. इज दिस क्लियर टू यू? Here, the first example which I gave you of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Patel was an Iron Man. If I say Patel was as strong as an iron, so this is simile. This is not metaphor. Yes, guys? Now, see the next one. Symbolism. Symbols have been used by Kipling, like first knave represents scoundrels, liar or conman. Crowds has been symbolized common folk. Kings represent the important people of society. Common touch represent the humility. Yes? And the next is theme. The first theme would be growing up and becoming a man. Means Kipling giving us some rules. If we live according to those rules, we'll be a mature man, he's saying. The another theme is, the poem is righteousness rather than being self-righteous. People who are striving to be righteous should not be self-centered. So this is the another thing. The next thing is having a good work ethic. People should not give up in even harder time. They should fight and face the music. The last theme is the poem is detachment. Failure and success should not be focused on because they will not last nor will they be permanent. So, do not get attached to something that will leave as quickly as it came. All of these men possess nobility of spirit and do not give up or give in. Clear? See the message of the poem. High risk, high gain. No risk, no gain. You must have heard this phrase. So, risks must be taken into life and hopes must not be lost if things do not work out as the desired way. Clear? Now, what is the conclusion of the poem? This poem attempts to tell us how to be a man dealing with any life matters in the future confidently. Yes? And when we read this poem, it seems as if this poem is composed by our mothers. Like mothers are telling something to us. Now you go through the poem once again and now enjoy it. Understand it and enjoy the meaning of the poem. Thank you and good luck everyone.